At 6:33, let's turn our attention to Egypt then, shall we, where the second round of voting in the parliamentary elections has begun. The process started last month after the overthrow of the Mubarak regime back in February and is expected to continue until the beginning of next year. Nabila Ramdani is a journalist specialising in the Middle East. Well, Nabila, we saw the Islamist parties doing well in the first round. Are they expected to continue to see good results?
Yes, very much so. They're actually the two dominant political parties, the Muslim Brotherhood and the Noor party, will go head-to-head, in fact, as they will be fighting to win the votes of the Egyptian people. Today, as you said, it will be the second round of parliamentary elections. But these are elections which started on the 28th of November, and they began in stages, and they will not be complete until March 2012. So there will be more elections coming up, but these are the two main parties who are doing extremely well.
Why are the elections taking such a long time to complete?
Well, it's part and parcel of the way the Egyptians go on about doing their elections. It is a hugely complicated process, it has to be said, not least because it will stretch over such a long period of time, because it involves not only parliamentary elections, but it will also elect in the process a lower house of parliament. It will also decide over a constitution, and sometime later in 2013 an election will be a presidential election will be held as well. So that's why it's taking so long. But also it involves an awful lot of parties, it has to be noted, which says an awful lot about the enthusiasm of the Egyptians to embark on a democratic process.
And participation is enthusiastic in these elections, is it? Because we have seen some expressions of discontent, particularly in Cairo, haven't we, in recent weeks, with protests resuming in Tahrir Square?
Yes, the protests were mainly due to the fact that that Egypt's military rulers produced a draft document setting out principles for new constitutions. And under the guidelines of that constitution, the military would be exempted from civilian oversight, and as would its budget. And this has angered protesters who fear that the gains they had made during the uprising, which saw Mubarak go last February, could yet slip away as the military tries to retain some grip on power. So in that context, elections still went ahead, and one of the reasons why some people claim that the Islamist parties are doing so well is because they kept their campaign going on, while other parties felt that the context of security crackdown was not an apt environment to continue campaigning for the parliamentary elections.
Thank you very much for talking to us this morning. Nabila Ramdani, a journalist specialising in the Middle East.